When you think about wellness and practices, like what are the things that you would say to my listeners that you absolutely have to adopt? If you are living a fast-paced, busy life, big career, trying to start a company, what do you need to do? What are the non-negotiables?
Oh, that's a great question. And I'd say that some of this stuff is stuff I've implemented in corporations. When I work with my corporate clients, I've instilled this idea of if everyone took a breath for 3 minutes at the beginning of a meeting.
Just a breath,
just 3 breaths, you won't be carrying the baggage from your last meeting into the next one. Most of us walk into a new meeting and we're still thinking about what happened in the last meeting.
Facts, especially if they annoyed you.
Sorry?
Especially if they annoyed you.
Yeah, exactly. And you haven't had a second to decompress.
Yes.
You haven't had a second to think about it. All of a sudden, your manager in this meeting is going, what about this? And you haven't even decompressed. If you just took 3 breaths at the start of that meeting, all of a sudden you've paused, you've calmed the energy, and now you can actually be present. But going back to the non-negotiables, there's 5 habits that I believe are non-negotiable for high performers when it comes to high wellness. And if you look at the top athletes in the world, the top musicians, the top business performers, 80 to 90% of them practice these 5 habits. So these are also scientifically proven, but they're practically there. And Emma, I'd say every exec, every leader, every aspiring leader is an athlete. We have to start
100%.
treating our body and minds like athlete because you're demanding things from your body and mind.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, the first is thankfulness. And the reason why I say that one is the first one is because if you're not thankful for where you're at, it doesn't matter how much you'll achieve, you'll never be thankful.
Yeah.
If you're insecure about where you're at, if you're envious about where you're at, if you're jealous, judgmental of where you're at, that's what you're going to be like when you're at the top of the mountain or when you're at the bottom of the mountain. So the way I'd say to be grateful is not a journal. Don't write about it. You have to share it. If you want gratitude to work, it has to be 3 things: expressed, specific, and personal. So if I'm going to be grateful to you, Emma, like you were kindly to me at the start of this, you expressed it. You said, Jay, I loved coming on your show. You were specific. You were like, Jay, when I came on your show, I got to talk about things that I don't really talk about. And you were personal. You said, you made me feel really comfortable. You did all of those 3 things. If you think about most gratitude, it's generic. I'm grateful for life.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for the air. I'm grateful for the cloud. And you'll be grateful in your journal. You never say it. You never share it.
Yes.
It's just writing it down. That doesn't work. Studies show that if you share gratitude, if you express it, it's specific and it's personal, you can't be worried or anxious at the same time. It's not possible.
This is like a light bulb moment for me, because one of the things, I mean, I have been keeping a gratitude journal since like the Oprah days, right? As a kid, I learned that was something, and I don't think I understood it so much like, you know, back then, but I really knew this makes me feel good. And for me, it was about redirecting what was going on in my head at the time and having something else to think about. But what I do all the time is write to people. I constantly send emails saying, this thing that you did was really seen, was really appreciated and made me feel like this. And thank you for doing that.
Yes.
In the hope that they continue that behavior and maybe somebody else gets the same treatment. But I didn't actually understand like the scientific piece of it, because I'm just like, here writing in my gratitude journal. I didn't actually put those, you know, I always think about it as like you do someone a favor, they do something nice to you. You know, it's like just being grateful, being English, being like, you know, polite, like a nice girl. I never thought about it in the sense of connecting it to the gratitude practice.
Absolutely.
Like ever.
And it changes everything, because you just said, and I'd say that to people, for the next 7 days, do what Emma does. Send one person personally and one person professionally a text, an email, a voice message, a video message. Doesn't have to be long, 30 seconds. And share gratitude that's specific and personal. It will change your relationships. It will change how you feel. It will make you feel like you're connected to people. You're not lonely at the top. You actually you're paving the way for others to follow as well. There's so many benefits. So that's
amazing. Has to be. I love that one. And you can do that in work too. Like, why wouldn't you do that with your colleague?
Absolutely.
Because we're in such a rush all the time and the wins happen. And you could literally turn around and be like, you did this amazing job. I love the way you did X. Da, 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 da. It's like so simple. All right, what's the second habit?
So the second habit is something I called insight. I think about humans really interestingly. If you're hungry, you go to your refrigerator or Uber Eats or whatever it is, and you find food. If you're out of milk, you buy milk. But when we're out of inspiration, we panic. If we're out of motivation, we panic. If we're out of energy, we panic. Like, it's like, oh my God, there must be something wrong with me. There's something like that's not working for me. I think it's really important that we learn something every day. The problem is we stop studying the moment we leave school. And we need to learn one insight per day. It could be the tiniest thing someone says to you. It could be listening to your podcast right now and you'll take away one insight. It could be learning a new word. It could be anything. Just learning one tiny thing a day changes the brain. It makes you feel like you're moving. You don't feel stuck anymore because you have a new piece of insight. You have a new experience that you can share with someone else. And your podcast is going to do that for so many people.
Honestly, I love that you say that, first of all, but this is one of my biggest single things. And, I feel like I didn't take very much away from school at all. But there's this great quote that I love and I think about it every day. It's that the more you learn, the more you earn,
yes.
which is a very Emma quote. It wasn't me, it was Warren Buffett. But it's one that, I'm a lifelong learner and I have been like that since I was a kid. But I think I've connected it to this idea of like just growth, right? Personal growth in my life. If I can learn something every day, learn something about someone, that is me expanding my horizons, expanding what I know. I love the way you contextualize it. It's like insights, right? And that is so important for people. Like if you can make that a habit every single day, I'm just going to learn the smallest little thing. How do you practice that? Like, what do you do? What do you learn?
I think you can literally go, okay, I'm going to learn a new word every day. I'm just going to get ChatGPT to give me a new word every day. Like something unique, something I've never heard before, a word in another language. Mm-hmm. It can be that simple. For me, I like to I'm lucky. I get to sit down and interview people. So I'm learning stuff all the time. And I think anyone who's listening is learning all the time. But it's like, at one point in my life, I listened to Steve Jobs' Stanford commencement speech every day for 9 months. What a speech. One of the best speeches of all time.
What a speech. The one where he talks about dogma.
Yeah.
It's so
I didn't
insane.
know you loved it too.
First of all, I've taken so many parts of that speech. I keep like Post-its on the inside of my bathroom mirror. So many parts of that. I've posted that speech in parts in so many ways. It really is. Because what does he say? There's a part in there where he talks about...
Don't be trapped by dogma of other people's thinking.
Yes. Yeah. And the best invention of life is death. Yes. That it's finite. And I'm like... it's so crazy, that speech, no?
It's so
insane.
good.
And you listen to that every day as like a way of learning, like feeding yourself.
At one point in my life, I listened to it every day for 9 months. And I promise you, not only did I know the words off by heart, the words started to change my heart and my life because you start to live them. Repetition. We're also living at a time where we always want new and fresh.
Yeah.
I think there's a power in repetitive insights. Sometimes learning the same thing again and again every day lets it drop into your consciousness and all of a sudden you're acting differently.
Yeah.
So that
changes you.
It changes you.
Oh my goodness, these habits are changing me. All right, number 3. I'm
feeling
feeling good.
We talked about number 3, so I won't talk about it too much, but mindfulness or meditation.
Yes.
Having a check-in with yourself. I always say to people, you schedule meetings with your family, your friends. You never cancel things for your kids. You never ever cancel a meeting with someone else, but you'll never schedule one with yourself.
Yeah.
You just don't do it. It's not there. And so what I say to people is just at the beginning, at the end of your day, have a meeting with yourself. It could be 3 minutes. Put it in the calendar. 3 minutes at the start of the day, 3 minutes at the end, and just check in with yourself at the start and say, what do I need today to make it a great day? Is it a cup of coffee? Is it a great meeting? Is it me making sure that I'm prepared for Emma's podcast? Like, what's the thing that's going to make today great? And at the end of the day, let me just reflect on how my day was and how did it go for me? That's the beginning of meditation.
Why is it so difficult for women, for example, to actually create that space and time? Because like I said to you, my husband will have no problem meditating and finding the time to meditate for 40 minutes a day. This is a very busy businessman. He also has 4 kids and a lot going on. Why would so many women find it hard to make that appointment with themselves and to make the time and the space?
If I'm honest, I mean, women are more caring, they're more nurturing.
But just not about themselves.
They've been programmed to believe that they should be taking care of everyone else. They have the capacity to, so that's their role in society. I think women have been programmed to believe that their worth comes from helping everyone else and not themselves. Their value comes from being there for the village and not themselves. And so a lot of it's programming, conditioning for decades.
Yes.
Where women have had to put
centuries.
Centuries,
right? No, but absolutely
where women have had to put themselves 2nd, 3rd, 10th, even if they're on the list at all. And it's really sad because if you think about it, women have the greatest impact on society. I mean, when I think about my mom made me and my sister breakfast, lunch, and dinner fresh every day. She dropped me and her to school until I was old enough to take the bus myself. She picked us up from school. When we got home, she did our homework with us. She went out to work in the evenings and then came back. My mum has had more impact on me than any other human on planet Earth.
Without a doubt.
And because of her sacrifice for me, I feel so in love, but the only thing I would have wanted as a child is for her to do something for her.
Right.
Now, when I think about it, and even at this age, like if I told my mum, fly to LA, I miss you, she'd jump on a plane.
1000%, as any mum would.
Exactly.
But that's why I always talk about this idea, and I mentioned it on your podcast, of putting yourself first.
Yes.
And I do think that at the end of the day, we've just got to get comfortable with putting ourselves first. And if you can think about meditation in that sense, that actually you're doing something for the good of everyone around you, because it betters you, it adds to you, it feeds you. It just is that, again, that reframing of how we think about something as being, is this taking away from everyone around me, or is this giving to everyone around me? And I find the meditation piece, this is giving.
You hit the nail on the head. It's all about the reframe.
Yeah.
It's all about the reframe of, am I giving people the best of me or giving them my leftovers?
Mm-hmm.
And most of us are just giving our leftovers. And by the way, that's not your fault. It's how things have been structured, how society's been conditioned. But if you start investing in yourself, your parents get a better version of you, your partner gets a better version of you, your kids get a better version of you, your colleagues get a better version of you. You will give the best version of yourself to everyone if you've done the one thing in your day for 3 minutes for yourself, whether that's a coffee, watching a video, whatever it be for you.
Oh, I'm just glad we're down to 3 minutes and not 90. This I can cope with. All right, number 4.
Number 4 is the one we all know, which we've heard a million times, but we don't do it, is exercise. And I've heard...
And I know you say that, like you've heard all of these things a million times, but it is the most obvious things that have the biggest impact,
100%.
right?
100%.
So when you talk about these habits, because they feel simple, making it a habit, like how do you make your exercise a habit?
There's 2 things about human psychology that make exercise easier. One is it has to be collaborative, and 2, it has to be competitive.
Collaborative. I work out at 5:30 in the morning. Like, who am I doing that with?
So you don't need a real person there. Even if it's an accountability partner, if there's someone else who's waking up in another in another environment, it could be someone online. Like whenever you're, even if you're posting your scores with your friends, and you might not be working out at the same time, but it's collaborating and knowing that other people you love and trust are working out as well. It's having that community around you.
I don't like this one. Am I not allowed to like some of the
habits?
It's like 5:30 a.m. I look like shit. I don't want to talk to anyone. That's my quiet time in the day. Like so the collaboration. Could I like text someone?
Yeah, it's a different definition. When I say collaborative, I don't mean it has to be with someone.
Okay.
Because that's not possible for a lot of people. When I say collaborative, it means you know other people who have the same goals. You're talking about it. You're texting about it. You're messaging about it. You're connecting about it.
And that's important for what reason?
Well, because you feel like, well, we're both on this journey together. We've both got that goal together. It's the community. We all work better when we feel accountable, even if it's to a friend. That doesn't mean that they're there in the room. It doesn't mean that you've got to be dressed up for your workout at 5:30. What it means is me and my friends set a goal, and there's a community of us, and we're all inspiring each other. Humans work better that way. Right. The second is make it competitive. Humans love winning.
Now there's one I can get with. Funny
humans love winning. You do the 10,000 step contest in your family, everyone's going to be walking at 9 p.m. trying to get to 10,002.
It's so true.
So make it competitive. That's what we've not done with exercise. We've tried to make it routine.
Yeah.
We've tried to make it a habit. This stuff gets boring.
Yeah.
Competition doesn't get boring.
We all loved it when we were kids and you had to go and beat the other school. Now it's like, what are we doing?
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's how you make it more interesting.
I can get with that one.
And then the final one is sleep. And this one is the underestimated one.
Yes.
Because people just don't realize how much sleep is boosting their life. So those 5 habits go thankfulness, insight, meditation, exercise, sleep. It spells times, TIMES. So you can remember that as always being the 5 non-negotiables.